Dear visitors, I'm your host Phagos, and this is The Paper Theater. Today's video will be a look at the books I read in 2017. There isn't that many, so please don't judge. But let me know if you enjoyed any of these books as well. So I read 5 books this year. 4 were fiction books, 3 were fantasy, and 1 science fiction. And the last one is a biography and graphic novel. I'm going to start with Monet, Itinerant of Light by Salva Rubio. It was illustrated by Efa. So this is a graphic novel and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to show you a lot of the inside here. All these beautiful illustrations. They kind of did their own take on kind of like the Impressionist style when doing it, and I really love that. Like, they really captured, I think, how Monet kind of saw the world and his struggles in life as well. But yeah, gorgeous illustrations in this book, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. I was just like, wow, so beautiful. But yeah, so it basically is just like a biography of Monet's life. They may have taken a couple of liberties in telling his story, but yeah. At the end here, you can see they did kind of a comparison to the events and the actual paintings that Monet did, like beside their version of it, like their illustration of it, like within the book. Anyway, it's a beautiful book, and I think more people should check it out. So right now I'm just like pointing out the titles so you guys can read it. So the next book I have here is Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, which is the second book to Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar Children. And it's got these beautiful end pages that I really wanted to show, and the title page, also quite nice. What I love about these books is they have all these little bits with the photos that correspond to what's happening in the story, right? Like, because that's how he based his stories, was around old photographs that he found. So this is the second book, so I can't really tell you a whole lot, except that it takes place like right after the first book, like it picks up right there. I also like the expansion of the characters, because in this one you got more of the peculiars. You got to know more about them other than just like what their power was and their name. And I really enjoyed that. You also got to meet new peculiars, and you also got to learn more about like the bad guys, of course. But yeah. So after I read that one, I picked up the next book, which is Library of Souls by Ransom Riggs, which is the third book in the series, which is the conclusion, which also is littered with, this is the hardcover, which I hadn't gotten before, so I didn't realize that there's a slight color change in the end pages. But yeah, it also has all the photographs in it throughout the story to help tell the story as well, but some of them are super creepy. And I'm just like, where did you find all these creepy photos? Insane. But anyways, it is also very lovely written. My issue with this one was like the ending got a little silly for me. It was still a really, really good book, but the ending kind of, I don't know, it became too hunky-dory, happy-dope at the very end, and it got a little weird, and like, I know the whole story is kind of weird, but the ending of this book got kind of silly. I don't know, it just felt silly to me. Though, it is like a young adult book, which means everything has to be like semi-okay at the end, right? They have to have their happy ending kind of thing. But anyways, so here is me undressing the cover, like taking the dust jacket off, and underneath it's got all the characters' signatures, like all the peculiars all written on it. And it's this lovely teal color too, which I think is interesting because the rest of the story, like the rest of the book, is all just black and white, right? There's no other color. And then you take off the dust jacket and there's this beautiful teal with the silver embossing. But yeah, it's still a really good book, even though I was slightly disappointed with the ending. But they're all really good books, actually. And I think you should read them. Here I am just pointing out Ransom Riggs. And I'm like, hey, he wrote both of these books, you know? Then I read Love Beyond Body, Space, and Time, LGBTQ Indigenous Anthology, Sci-Fi Anthology. So it's got a whole bunch of different authors, and it's filled with short stories about Indigenous LGBTQ people in science fiction situations. I liked some of the stories. Other stories I was like, okay, so it's just lesbians in space. I'm like, I've seen that before, you know? But like, some of them were really good, and I really liked them, and they spoke to, I like more psychological sci-fi. Like, it can't just be like, look, there's people in love, and they're in their own space, you know? So some of them got a little bit deeper into like the psychological stuff. And that I was like, ooh, cool. Because there has to be more to the story than just, look, we're in space. Wonderful. Anyways. Then there's V.E.Shwab, A Gathering of Shadows. So this is the second book in her series. The first one is... yeah. In the London series. Oh my god. So this is Darker Shade of Magic is the first one. I can't believe I had like a right there. But anyways, I really love V.E.Shwab's voice as an author, and I think the way that she puts words down is just beautiful. There's also these beautiful like little bits in the chapters and the different parts, these beautiful little illustrations or basically images. Just, I think it's lovely. And the cover of this book is gorgeous. I like the first one better. This one had a little bit of a bit that I didn't like, but she did it really well. You know, like, I still love this book, but there were parts in it that were a little slow for me. But anyways, it's really good. I'm reading the third book right now, which is also really good. But I really love V.E.Shwab's voice as an author. She's one of my favorite authors. I actually went and got her signature for the third book, which is The Conjuring Play. But yeah, it's such a beautiful cover. I love the story too, with all the different Londons that the main character can travel to. Anyways, so those were the books that I read. Thank you for watching, and bye!